Okay, so on the screen I've got my third track for my EP for my major project, and the whole drum section is made up of what me and Michael recorded in the studio together. He was doing the drums. He did some various loops and some various one shots, so I could go away and chop them up. The drum track sounds like this, the finished lot. And you can see I've made a multi-output instrument in the EXS24, and so the whole drum track sounds like that, and then the whole track together. So what I'm going to do in this demonstration is a watered down version of how I created the drum track. I'm just going to use very simple hits and just show you how I went about it. So the hits are on here, and they're already chopped up. So now I'm just going to select the two kick drums, the snare and the hat, and I'm going to convert these into a new sampler track, which I'll just call drum demo. That'll be fine. And then we'll create the zones from regions because they're already chopped up. I've already edited them and harvested them from the session. So now I've got a channel here with everything in the region, and it's on the timeline, and it sounds, there you go, so you can just hear them as they are. So for now I'll just create a quick 4 to the floor. Oh, just undo that there, and then the snare can go on every second beat, and then I'll stick the hat on every offbeat, just like that. Now this is going to sound really rigid at the moment. It's literally just to show you how I harvested the recorded samples and loaded them in. So here we go. There's no EQ or anything like that. It's just as it is. Now this is okay if you're happy with each sound, but as you can hear, it's heavy and there's no real definition. So I want these to now appear on their own channel. So what I need to do is go into my EXS and make sure that it's a multi-output, 5 times stereo, 6 times mono. And now I'm going to go to edit, and you can see here that the outputs are all in main. So the first kick drum I'm going to have in 11, the second in 12, the snare I'm going to have as a stereo, and I'm going to have that as output 3 and 4, and then I'm going to have my hat as 5 and 6. Okay, that means now I can create auxiliary channels and have them correspond with the outputs to have each of those hits on their own channel. And that's done. You want to save that, and that's done as simply as I'm going to go 2 mono, and these are going to take my kick drums, and then I'm going to go 2 stereo, and they'll take the snare and the hat. We'll create 2 there. So there we go. Now I'm going to come to here, I'm going to go to input, instrument 5, EXS24 11, that's the first mono out, and there we go. Now I'm going to come to mono aux 13, I'm going to do exactly the same, instrument 5, the next mono out, EXS12, that's corresponding. And then for the snare, we want instrument 5, 3 and 4. And for the hat, instrument 5, 5 and 6. So now they should all correspond. So I'm going to bring the first one up and we should hear the kick on its own channel. And there it is. You can see that being played. Well, you can see them all being played, but now I'm going to solo the next one, and that should be the second kick, which it is. Now we should have snare, and now we should have hat. Okay? Now, all of those are on their own channel, so I can go about EQing very accurately until I get the sound I want. So to start with, I'll play the kick drum, bass drum 1 on its own. Okay, that sounds alright. Let's have a look at a bit of EQ. I'm not sure any high end present in this, so there's no point leaving it there. And then we can put a slight roll off in at 30 Hz, just to save any muddiness and save headroom. Now we can have a listen to bass drum 2, and straight away I can hear that there's a ringing in there, and I think it's around, I think that's around 110 Hz. So I'm going to just put a boost in. Yeah, there you go. So I'm just going to drop that out of it, and then let's try another one. As it still seems present there. And drop that one out. Again, nice 30 Hz roll off. 48 dBs per octave. And then roll off that unnecessary high end. Now the kicks should work together. So if I solo this one out as well and bring it in slowly. You can see that's added definition now to the low end. That's without. It sounds very sort of clicky and there's resonant frequencies everywhere. And without and with the EQ, it brings the punch and gives it definition. So now I'd like to treat the snare. I want this to cut through the drum loop, so I want to get rid of any low end because I can hear that muddies up the mix. And then I might just put a slight lift in around 800 Hz. As you can see, it starts to lag a bit. So I think it's around about there. Slight lift. Let's say 1.5 dB. Yeah. That just takes away that low end rumble as well. That roll off there. That's with the EQ. And that's without. And to provide even more space for the kick drums to work their magic, I'm going to just put a slight pan. And I'm just going to go slightly left. And now, played with the kick. Yeah, that'll do, I think. And then we've got the hat. Again, I can hear straight away there's too much low end present in there. So I want to roll right off there. You can see there's nothing present. And then it needs sparkle and it needs some sort of air. So I'm going to put a lift in at 8,200 hertz to try and add some air and sparkle. You see, straight away, I'm going to be quite bold with this. That's without, and that's with. And as we've done with the snare, let's pan this one. But instead of going left, we'll go right. And let's see what we've got in with everything else. So this is a great way of getting each individual hit from your harvest session onto its own channel, and from there the world is your oyster, literally. You can send each separate hit off to a different bus, and you can apply reverb, compression, parallel compression, bit crushing, tape delay, anything you like is all possible using the multi-output instrument, because you're gaining independence over every different hit. So that's how I often work, and that's how I worked in this track to get the drum section completed. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was insightful.